11th, 2019. We're starting with a tough topic today. We're starting with the fact that self-help coach Tony Robbins has been accused again of sexual assault, this time against a minor, in new reporting by BuzzFeed News, and he is actually suing the media outlet now. We're also going to talk with Rachel Polansky, who will talk to us about her reporting on vaping and how that's gotten the attention of Governor Mike DeWine and the Ohio Department of Education officials. And then we'll end it on a light note. We'll tell you your weekend guide and let you know what is going on in Northeast Ohio this weekend. And I'll tell you what, the theme is holiday lights. Okay, starting off at the top with self-help coach Tony Robbins being accused of sexual assault again. He has now been accused of sexual assault of an underage girl in the year 1985. So this is not a new accusation. This is an accusation from decades ago that BuzzFeed is just reporting today. We have that article up on WKYC.com, and I will drop that in the comments for you. Robbins has denied this and all other allegations that have been reported by BuzzFeed. This is the 6th article in a series of reports, and Robbins has said that he is suing BuzzFeed News now because of this reporting. Let me get that link for you here in the comments so that you can check that story out. Dropping that for you right now. Okay, so that link is there if you would like to read the story for additional details. Now, this BuzzFeed article came out today, and it accuses Robbins of sexually assaulting an underage girl at a summer camp in 1985. Robbins was seen, according to this article, by several campers at a place called Super Camp, allegedly forcefully kissing an underage girl while pinning her against a tree, and he was a guest speaker at the camp at the time. Now, previous articles have reported that female fans and former staffers accused Robbins of inappropriate sexual advances. The allegations in BuzzFeed's initial reports covered the 1990s and early 2000s. That was before he married his second wife in 2001. In this previous reporting, 2 former bodyguards told BuzzFeed that they were sent into audiences to look for attractive women for Robbins, according to BuzzFeed's reporting. Robbins is also accused of berating victims of rape and domestic abuse during his self-help sessions. Robbins responded to BuzzFeed News today in Medium, posting a blog that said this, quote, "Throughout BuzzFeed's campaign against me, numerous people have called in reports of being harassed and pressured by BuzzFeed's reporters and being asked to confirm false and inaccurate stories about me." He went on to say that he is now suing BuzzFeed News for this information. All right, now we're going to bring in Rachel Polanski, who has reported a 3-part series on the dangers of vaping, specifically related to teens, and it's got the attention of Ohio state officials. Rachel, thank you for joining us here on the live stream.
Thank you for having me.
This 3-part series, it was very extensive. You actually went into how this is focusing on teens. Specifically, you learned about one company, Juul, actually had a plan to target the teens.
That's right. So we got a hold of these internal emails from the company, and essentially what they said was that Juul paid a lot of money, anywhere from $10,000, $89,000, even $134,000 to get into schools and actually meet with students face to face. In at least one instance, Juul reps told students that their product was, quote, totally safe, and even demonstrated to the kids how to use a Juul.
Wow, even demonstrating actually how to use a Juul.
Right, and that's according to the documents and the memos that we obtained.
And you also, in your reporting, looked at the impact of vaping on teens?
Right, so we spoke with a number of experts, including doctors. One of those doctors was a pulmonologist at Cleveland Clinic. And one of the things that he said to me that really stuck with me throughout the reporting was that often he's pressured to say what's safer, vaping or smoking cigarettes. And he said, vaping's not safe, smoking cigarettes is not safe. So that's kind of what we kept getting from people. Of course, at this point, there's been a number of deaths reported. In Ohio, we have not had any deaths reported. Or no, actually, that's wrong. In Ohio, we have had a few. But essentially, it just comes back to that, you know, teens are vaping. We don't know enough about it yet, and experts say that people should be concerned.
And getting to the point that we don't know enough about it, you actually partnered with 2 of our partner stations at Tegna to do a full-on study of how teens are being punished for vaping in school?
Right. So we wanted to find out, you know, how many vaping infractions are there in schools. And so we first just requested that information from school districts, and that's when we realized that there isn't a statewide database. So we were like, well, we want to know this information. Let's create it ourselves. So the 3 of us took on, every school district in the state, and we reached out to every single one, and we just asked how many vaping infractions did they have over the last 3 school years. We found that over that 3-year school period, there was a 700% increase in kids caught vaping.
700%.
That's right.
And there were some particular challenges that you faced related to this study?
Exactly. So one of the big challenges was that some schools did not specifically track vaping data. So they could tell us, for example, well, we track tobacco infractions, so it's all lumped together. So that could be traditional cigarettes, that could be vaping, anything that would fall under that umbrella, but they didn't specifically track vaping, so they couldn't give us any information. So for us, out of the 600 schools we reached out to, we had 353 that provided us with the information that we used to get those numbers.
Okay.
So as for the other ones, it was either they denied our requests or they couldn't physically calculate it.
That's a lot of schools that didn't quite have the data to answer the questions that you were trying to ask.
Right. So what we did next was, throughout this reporting, is we reached out to the Ohio Department of Education and we reached out to the governor's office. And we sent them all of our information too. So what we're talking about tonight and what's happening is that they are now exploring potential changes that would require all schools to specifically track vaping data. So what they're going to do first, the Ohio Department of Education is considering conducting an informal statewide survey, very similar to what we did, reaching out to the schools voluntarily, asking them how many vaping infractions they had over the last couple of years.
And so when do you think that we might see results from the study? Any idea?
So the spokesperson for Ohio Department of Education told me this is very preliminary. They're just starting at this point, so they're still very much in the planning phase. But she said it could take at least a couple of months, and then she'll be able to provide some preliminary data.
Well, this is obviously important reporting that you've been doing. Thank you for doing this series. It's called Clearing the Air. It was a 3-part series. This is then the follow-up to it.
Yep, that's right. And all of this is on our website, too. And if you go to the story that was just posted about today's story, you can watch all 3 of the other reports, because each one tackles a different subject matter. There's just so much to this topic. It's really hard to just, summarize it in a couple short minutes.
And that link is here in the comments. You can go directly to that story. And then at 6 p.m. tonight in What Matters Most, you can hear directly from those officials in Rachel's story.
Yep, that's right.
Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, looking ahead to the weekend, there are a lot of fun things going on this weekend, and the theme is lights. I know a lot of you have been anticipating the Wild Winter Lights at the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo, and yes, that is open as of today, so you can definitely check that out. If you're interested in the Wild Winter Lights, there will be 1 million lights with 12 diverse and interactive zones, including Snow Safari, Glacier Glade, and Santa's North Pole Lodge. There will also be a 16-foot tall teddy bear and giant sugar cookies, and also an exhibit called the Aurora Borealis, which is Cleveland Metro Park Zoo's version of the Northern Lights. There's also interactive games at the Wild Winter Lights. That includes a snowball toss, a light show, and you can take photos with Santa. You can get tickets in advance the day of the event up until 2 p.m., so too late for today, but keep that in mind for the rest of the weekend. And if you get them in advance, they are just a little bit cheaper. It's $16 per person, $15.50 per person if you're a Zoom member, $18.50 per person if you're not a Zoom member. If you go out the door, it's $20.50 for everybody. Children under age 2 get in for free. And if you buy 4 packs, it's also a little bit cheaper. So that's at the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. That's Friday through Sunday, every weekend now through January 5th. And those hours are 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. You can check that out. Another holiday-themed event happening this weekend is the Glow Holiday Hollows at the Cleveland Botanical Garden. The Botanical Garden will begin glowing this weekend, and visitors can see 100 decorated gingerbread houses, dozens of trees, and there's also a gnome scavenger hunt. Tickets for adults for that are $15. Children ages 3 to 12 get in for $10. Under 3 is free, and the event is also free for members, so if you're a member of the Cleveland Botanical Garden, definitely take advantage of that. The hours vary, so you're going to want to head to that website. And we have that link for you in the comments for the weekend guide, and we have a link for you to check the hours there as well, so you can see the exact hours. If you want to see the tree lighting ceremony at Crocker Park, that's happening Saturday. It starts at 5 p.m. and the tree will be lit at 7:30 p.m. by Santa Claus himself. It's a 50-foot Christmas tree. That event is free for everybody. And if you are maybe not necessarily looking for holiday lights, but just want to get out with your furry friend this weekend, the Doggy Brunch is happening at Terrestrial Brewing Company. Now, this happens twice a month. It's either the second and the fourth Sunday of the month. This is a combined effort with a group called Social Paws, and it is a dog-friendly brunch at the brewery. La Plaza Supermarket will also be there serving delicious food. A Girl's Best Friend Bakery will have treats for the dogs there. And My Best Friend Coffee Company will be providing the coffee to keep you caffeinated in case you want to get there right at 10 a.m. Maybe you had a late night out this weekend. So that's on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Terrestrial Brewing Company in Cleveland. We have lots more events in the weekend guide, so make sure you click that link and check that out. All right, thank you so much for joining us here today. We really appreciate you being a part of the live stream and participating in our comments. Make sure that you like our Facebook page, WKYC Channel 3, and also follow the page so you get notifications about all the stories that we share for you. And if you don't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is at youtube.com/user/WKYC-TV. While you're there, make sure you click the bell to get notifications every time we go live so that you don't miss any of these 3 News Now afternoon updates. I'm Stephanie Haney. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.